All right, how about a cautionary tale? This video is more intended for arcade owners or future arcade owners. Just to kind of share a little bit of information on what we've learned so far on a couple of things. Maybe this will help you. When we first opened, we were pinball only. I had envisioned getting a bunch of pinball machines, throwing them in a room. The longer we were open, the more that we would add things like classic video games and stuff like that. So when we originally opened, I just had pinball. I didn't have any other arcade machines or any other amusement devices. And it was great. We opened up. One of the things we found was kids came in, 12 years old or so. They didn't know anything about pinball. They didn't want to know anything. Their parents drug them there. They were just kind of like, I'm not going to have fun. I'm not going to have fun at all. And so they refused to allow themselves to have fun. They refused to let themselves play these things. So at one point, I stumbled upon a cool old funky Mickey Mouse TV with ears, little CRT, put an NES with that running Duck Hunt and Mario. We put that in the arcade. That helped the attitude of some of these kids, where now they came in, they're like, I don't want to play these dumb games. And then I'll play this thing. They play a little bit, and they start relaxing, and then they go over, they play the pinball game and be a little bit better, right? So, okay, we'll keep doing that. So we brought in a couple of arcade machines, that helped. Kind of expanded away from pinball to give kids, especially kids, something else to kind of focus on, right? Worked great. We ended up bringing in a GameCube. This is at the other location. Brought in a GameCube, about a 30-something inch monitor, and ran Smash Brothers on it. That was a big hit, and kids and adults like that. There were some kids that they didn't want to have anything to do with pinball. They'd plop down, they'd start playing they'd play the GameCube the whole time they were there, which was great because their parents were there wanting to play pinball, or other people they were with wanted to play pinball, and this kind of kept them out of their hair, right? It was like a little babysitter for kids. It was great, fine. All right, we did lose a couple of controllers over the years. Like, we were there for a couple of years, we probably blew through about 4 controllers. Stuff happens, right? They break, whatever. Since we've moved here, we've gone through, we've only been here for a handful of months, and we've gone through probably 4 or 5 controllers already. This floor is hard. So what's happening is that some kids are just destructive. They just throw the controller on the ground, they break it, that's it, you're done, right? A lot of times they just get dropped, and it's a cement floor. Well, over there it's kind of tiled, but it's still really hard. You drop the controller numerous times, it's going to break. So a couple days ago, after, I don't know, the 4th or 5th controller broke, I told Sophia, I'm like, well, screw this, I'm getting a carpet. So I ordered a carpet to go under both of the console games over there. So we have the GameCube and we have the NES running Duck Hunt. And the NES has been a sport. Like, it's an aftermarket NES, it's a remake. We don't want to run the original, which is fine. This one has the outputs that we need. We're running a controller, we're running the little pew pew gun. So far, those have lasted the entire time. Like, both of those controllers have been real big sports. They haven't broken at all. But yeah, the GameCube breaks all the time. So we saw somewhere that someone was running a Wii, and Wii Sports was super popular. So I'm like, we have room for that. Let's do that. We didn't have a Wii, so we went out, we bought a Wii. Now here's a cautionary tale. We went out, we bought a used Wii. That was $70 with tax. It didn't come with Wii Sports or anything, and it only had one controller. So I assumed the controller, since they're wireless, one of them might go missing. They're probably going to get dropped a lot. I just bought some cheap aftermarket new ones, and I don't remember how much they are. They were this much. Got 4 of those in. We didn't have Wii Sports, We didn't have any games for it, so we went searching for some games. I put a call out on social media and just said, we want to get a Wii going here. We're really looking for Wii Sports. If you have one, let us know. We'll buy it from you. A friend of the arcade, a family that has come in a fair amount of times, they've had birthday parties and stuff here, they contacted us and said, we've got Wii Sports and a couple other games and some controllers. Any interest? And I said, yeah. And we worked out a trade that I think 5 of them came in that day when they brought that stuff in. So we gave them free passes to come in, which came out to be this much. So we made a little bit of investment in this. Now the monitor for it, I had a monitor at home. I just wanted to get this up and going really quick. So I had a monitor at home. I didn't go out and buy one. I didn't want a smart monitor. I have a smart monitor, a smart TV for the dartboard over there, and that thing's a big pain in the butt. And it actually is locked down, so it needs to be online so that I can stream the dartboard to it, but you can't run the smart TV until you give it an email address and they send you a code. So at one point, that thing is going to be perfectly fine, but it won't work because I won't be able to activate it, right? I didn't want to go down that route. It was cheap, it was like $200, but I didn't want to go down that route again. So I don't want smart TVs at all, ever again in my life. I just don't like that concept. So this is a non-smart TV that I put up there. It's a 50-inch non-smart TV. I had it in my house. I think I paid like $600 for it when it was new. I've had it for a few years. It was in my workshop. I'm not filming from there, so I'm like, screw it, I'll bring it in here. Last night, I'm live streaming. I have a sign over it, right? It says, you have to wear the strap. Because I don't want these remotes going shoop across the room or, at the monitor or whatever. Last night I'm streaming. We've got a bunch of people in here. People have been playing these console games all day. I had remembered that I was actually talking to the camera at the time, but I wasn't. I was helping someone else. And then I heard a big thunk. And I was like, what the heck was that? And I look around, and there's a kid standing right here basically freaking out, right? There were 2 people playing. My understanding was there were 2 people playing. They were playing just normal, doing their thing, and the controller left the kid's hand. The strap broke, and it went into the television and broke the TV. Almost dead center. Really nice shot. But by the sound of it, it was really loud. Like, he really whipped it at the screen. So Dad was here. We talked about it. I explained to the dad, there's a sign at the front door, rules for parents. Parents are expected to pay for anything the kid breaks, because I have had destructive kids in here before. They go in, they wreck candy just by opening it up and fiddling with it and dropping it, throwing, just messing around and breaking stuff. And then I've had kids back here purposely trying to break machines, just repeatedly hitting it as hard as possible, not playing the game or anything. So it's just sort of we got to kind of cover our butts. I don't want to pay for something that some shitty little destructive kid is breaking, right? It's the parents' responsibility to pay attention to kids. So I explained that to the father in nice terms. I was really nice. I was understandable. I also understand that shit happens, right? Let's back up here a minute, though, and talk about the Wii itself. Not 20 minutes before this, I'm on the live stream bitching about that stupid Wii. The other consoles, and then we've had different consoles in here, they do just fine. You turn them on during the day, people play them, they're great, and there's not a problem. This Wii, the controllers disconnect. Even with the original controller that came with it, it would disconnect. The Wii would go to sleep after about 15 minutes or something like that. Then you couldn't wake the damn thing back up again with the controller. So then you have to go over, you'd have to unplug the controller, you'd have to plug it back in again, or you have to unplug the machine, you have to plug it back in again because it wouldn't want to restart. It's just, the thing was constant. It was a lot of maintenance, a lot of fiddling around with it. And it seemed like I'd be busy and someone would come out and go, can we play the Wii? And I'm like, yeah, the controllers, here's the controllers, but then it doesn't work. So then I have to stop what I'm doing. I have to go over and fart around with the Wii, getting that going again, which takes a minute or two. Or worse, where like the controllers now don't register with the machine. And so now you got to resync the controllers. And it was just constantly like just messing around with this stupid thing. And I hated it. And I wanted to get rid of it. I was saying last night that really I wanted to take it out back and hit it with a hammer until it was gone. And probably that was last night, Saturday. Today's Sunday. If none of this stuff happened last night, I probably would be taking that offline and putting a different control or a different console in there today, just because I don't want to mess with it anymore. So. The father and I were talking about, okay, what are we going to do now that this kid has thrown the Wii remote through the thing? There's a lot of back and forth. I think that the father talked to the kid. The kid just said it slipped out of his hands and it broke, whatever. I didn't even think we had a video of it. Normally, when I live stream, my camera for this whole general area is up a little bit higher. And it would only catch like the tip of the bar billiards game here. But there were people playing bar billiards yesterday, and so I angled it down a little bit more so you could see the entire bar billiards table, which means you could see the entire Wii. You could see both people playing Wii, and we saw what really happened. So I'm not going to speculate too much on what happened. It does look to me like he got a little frustrated with what happened in the game. He starts kind of shrugging, and then he changes his grip. He just holds onto it by the strap, and he whips the controller at the TV. Why he did it, I don't know. If it was some sort of, I don't know if it was intentional or a strategy that he was doing. I'm not going to go there. It happened. Shit happens. The father and I came up with an agreement based on, we thought that he was holding onto it, it slipped out of his hands and the strap broke. So we decided to kind of split the costs of the monitor. Clearly not what happened. I couldn't find another 50-inch in town, so I ended up with this. This is a 65-inch. We're running Sega. This is Mortal Kombat. No more Wii. Never again, no more Wii. So if you have an arcade and you're running the consoles, which is awesome because there's a lot of these games that people haven't played for a really long time. 90s kid playing old consoles is kind of like an 80s kid playing Space Invaders, right? You gotta have old consoles in arcades nowadays. I just think it goes hand in hand. They don't have these consoles anymore. They want to play them. They want to play some of these old games. And people play the crap out of these things. So I would even find space to get maybe one more in here. I would like to run an Atari 2600 because I love watching kids. I have that Mickey TV still. That's what I'm going to do with Mickey TV. Atari 2600 on a Mickey TV. So I'm not really upset. Shit happens. It's a cost of doing business. We tried it. It didn't work out. We did invest some money into it, but we could probably resell the Wii. Or I'm going to take it out back and break it with a hammer. I haven't decided yet. But we have all the different controllers and games and whatever, or maybe we know someone who wants to play it for a while. And I don't know what we're going to do with it yet. And it's, the cost of doing business, like things in here break all the time. Flippers break all the time. Flipper mechanisms. I have a dartboard, a soft tip dartboard. I'm probably fixing those darts 30, 40 times a day on a busy day because people throw the darts against the wall, they hit the floor, the tips break, they pull the darts out wrong and they rip the flights apart. I bought a whole bunch of cheap darts. I consider it a consumable, right? It's just cost of doing business. If you're gonna put a Wii in your arcade, sheet of plexiglass maybe over the screen. Keep them farther away from the thing. That was one thing that I had a problem here is that kids were getting really, really close. I thought they were going to whack the screen with their hand. I guess the other hazard with having a Wii here, or a Wii in a public arcade, is limbs flailing all over the place. That kid, if you watch that video again, that kid's winging his arm. And if there were a kid right behind him, he would have clocked him, right? Like, could have done some serious damage to someone. And at one point the kid like swings his arm so bad and you can see him like holding his shoulder because he just whipped his arm so much he like strained it or something. Yeah, so a lot of problems with the Wii. I would recommend not doing it. So anyway, there you go. The further adventures of owning an arcade in the modern age. So I guess I don't have anything else to say. Thanks for watching.